Okay. Listen, guys. Let's do this. This looks like an interesting video from InternetAjay. InternetAjay seems to be a little upset ever since the criticism that he got from Tom Dark. I understand that. He hasn't been posting as frequently. You know, I feel so sad. That's my friend. A little bit. We're kind of friends. Do you think but let's see what we got here. So this is the rise and fall of Bill Cosby, from comedian to suspicious character.
What you have on tonight
is
wonderful. This is wonderful. And when you walked out, many people became attentive. You make me feel young again.
It's so weird that this was like acceptable back then. Like remove the gross stuff that he did. This was considered acceptable to like the way that you talk about women in public. Isn't that so weird? Like, I wonder how uncomfortable she feels. Because I feel like she looks uncomfortable in her face, but she's like, I can't say anything or I look like a bad person now.
You make me feel very excited.
Like, she looks uncomfortable, but she's trying to play it off. That's how it looks to me. Maybe I'm just wrong.
Bill Cosby was a cultural icon known for his role as Dr. Cliff Huxtable on The Cosby Show.
True.
Over time, he became known as America's dad due to his homespun wisdom and focus on family values.
Yeah, well, he doesn't seem to have those. So.
Beyond that, he also created The Fat Albert Show, was widely considered the best stand-up comedian of his generation and inspired many black entertainers. He was particularly well-liked for his trademark clean comedy and refusal to degrade black culture. However, his long and illustrious career took a turn for the worst when he was accused of sexually assaulting 60 different women. As a result, he was convicted in 2018 and sent to prison.
I think he got out on like a technicality, though.
3 years later in 2021, though, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania overturned his conviction due to the fact his due process rights were violated.
Yeah, they promised him that I forget the specifics.
This is the rise and fall of Bill Cosby.
Or he won't tell us. Come on, Jay. I don't really expect you to tell us, but why was Bill Cosby let out of prison? Let's see. The case eventually reached the Philadelphia Supreme Court, which overturned the conviction and freed Cosby on June 30, 2021. In his decision, the court cited a non-prosecution agreement Cosby had made with a former Montgomery County District Attorney. Yeah, so they basically, after he initially came forward with allegations, it seemed like they violated this particular agreement, so he got out on a technicality. So,
William Henry Cosby Jr., or Bill Cosby, was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on July 12, 1937. He came from humble beginnings and grew up in public housing in Philadelphia. Cosby's peers knew him as a class clown, but he eventually dropped out in 10th grade to serve in the Navy. After his military stint, he went on to go study at Temple. It was during his college days.
Is it a college or is that like, is he Jewish?
In the 1960s when
Jewish Temple.
Cosby started doing stand-up. He became well known for his animated expressions and onomatopoeias.
You see, no.
What the fuck is onomatopoeia a real word? I thought it was like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Wait, how do you is it onomatopoeia? Or I think it's what? Is it it's onomatopoeia. What the fuck?
Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia. The formation of a word from a sound associated with what it is called. I don't get it.
Was a carpenter, and he was in his rec room sawing away, making a few things for the home there.
Huh?
Hooba. Noah.
What?
Hooba. Noah. Who is that? It's the Lord, Noah. Right. Where are you? What do you want? I've been good. I want you to build an ark. Right. What's an ark?
Okay.
His charismatic...
It's not something. Comedy was okay. I think his comedy aged worse than the fucking the rape drugs he would put in these women's drinks.
Attitude often engaged the...
I think he was using Quaaludes. It's an old one, you know. I don't know.
Audience and kept them laughing. Oh, and Cosby was...
That's probably funny back then. It was interesting. I don't know.
Absolute legend at acting out scenes.
To watch something like the Revolutionary War where one man is shooting against another, and it must have looked exactly like this.
feel like I've seen Chappelle make the same joke. I can't believe Cosby stole that from Chappelle. I was kidding. Interesting. Okay. That kind of looked like he was just stuffing a drink with fucking drugs.
In 1965, he was cast in the show I Spy on NBC. It was the first weekly dramatic show to feature an African American. Although several southern stations refused to carry it, I Spy was incredibly successful. Interestingly, there were no black stuntmen at the time, so white stuntmen would wear blackface and fill in for black actors.
Oh no, I didn't know that. Wow.
However, Cosby refused to do this, which led to Calvin Brown becoming the first black stuntman in Hollywood.
Hey, good for him. I respect that. Good for him. He's like, no, I'm not going to let them do blackface. So give me an actual black stuntman. They had to hire somebody. He must have been really good at his fucking job then. I know that he drugged women, but we'll forget about that for now until we get there. You got to respect that.
The comedian later won 3 consecutive Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor, which put him on the map. Utilizing his newfound fame, Cosby created a show called Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids in 1972. It was actually based on the Fat Albert character he invented for his comedy routine. Five-heading it, he used the messages for his thesis in order to obtain his Doctor of Education degree. I wish I would have thought of something like that for my own career, but sadly I'm an absolute idiot. Anyways, Cosby proved you could do it all. Go to school, perform stand-up, and be on television. What made it more impressive was that he did everything at the same time. Notably, Cosby was also famously involved in the marketing of Jell-O pudding pops. His likeness actually helped the tasty treat reach $300 million in sales annually. In 1984, Bill Cosby's life changed forever when he starred on The Cosby Show, which, like Fat Albert, was based on stand-up. Originally, he wanted his character to be a limousine driver so he could go on long comedic monologues. He also requested that his wife
Why didn't they let him do that?
have a blue-collar job like a plumber. However, the executives preferred for the show to focus on an affluent black family without presenting racial stereotypes to generate audience loyalty. So they
I guess that makes sense.
made Cosby an OBGYN, which if you think about it now is kind of ironic considering all the females he sexually abused.
Got me on that, Jay. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I guess it's a little ironic.
Anyways, they were known as the Huxtables and had 5 wonderful children. Cosby epitomized a wisecracking, eye-rolling, but tender dad. His family was black and wealthy, which hadn't been seen before on television at the time. In addition, many youth gained self-confidence by watching a black male doctor married to a black female lawyer raise their kids on television. Cosby even...
Yeah, I guess that makes sense too, because back then, like, women weren't really working as much. So, like, having her being like a lawyer, like a successful lawyer, it actually helps a lot too. I mean, this show definitely tore down some stereotypes without making it like forced. You know what I mean? I remember watching it. I like the Cosby Show. I mean, I haven't watched it in quite a while, but I get a little bit sleepy when I watch it. I end up waking up the next morning and my butt hurts. But the show itself, like, that's one of the things that bothers me about the way that we insert like shit into things today. Like, the show itself was just about a character. It was just about an affluent family, and they just happen to be black. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, back in the, like, you know, nowadays it feels like it's like they're constantly calling attention to it. You know, it just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just listening too much. Maybe I'm watching too much Ben Shapiro. I don't know. But it feels like a lot more like heavily inserted. Like, I don't know if I've seen a black character on TV in a while, and maybe I just don't watch enough TV that wasn't like, that didn't have like a heavily centralized around their blackness. Like, just a normal, like, every black guy I've met they don't constantly talk about social and racial issues. Not that they're not important, but that's not fucking normal. But then I'm going, I'll watch a show. I'll watch my wife watch a show, and that's all they talk about. It's like, what happened to just normal fucking people that happen to be black rather than like black people? It's like, I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but that's how it feels sometimes. Just give me a fucking black guy in a role and just... And I think it's excellent if you have like an ongoing TV show with like 10 episodes and one episode they focus on like a racial issue, because that makes sense. But like, if you have like, hey, I don't know, bro. Family Matters was good too, yeah. But now it feels like that's the sole focus, you know? So, yeah.
went so far as to hire a clinical psychiatrist to make sure black culture was never portrayed negatively. Over time,
That's
he became
smart.
known as America's dad. Move over, Dan Bilzerian. Just kidding. Cosby's moral compass guided the way for many across the country.
Why Dan Bilzerian? Why not like Dan Connor?
Cosby was extremely homely, and viewers felt he was a...
Wait, what is that?
Cosby's moral compass... Over time, he became known as America's dad. Move over, Dan Bilzerian. Just kidding. Cosby's moral compass guided the way for many across the country. Cosby was extremely homely, and viewers felt he was a powerful voice of reason.
Doesn't homely mean ugly? Hold on, I gotta look that up. Definition. Homely. Unattractive in appearance.
Homely.
I think he used that wrong. Static Shock was fucking awesome. Oh, okay, so one of them means unattractive in appearance, but in the British version, it's simple but cozy and comfortable. Okay. I guess that's just a cultural thing. I guess Ajay is British.
Guided the way for many across the country. Cosby was extremely homely and viewers felt he was a powerful voice of reason. In addition, the sitcom was extremely relatable and wasn't afraid to touch on serious topics, much like how Cosby wasn't afraid to touch women while they were sleeping. For example, there were
Sorry. He's got a banging. These jokes are kind of getting me today. They're making me Jesus Christ. Okay, fuck. There's a marked improvement in some of these jokes.
multiple episodes about how Theo, Cosby's son on the show, had dyslexia. His character arc was thought to be inspired by his actual son, Ennis. Cosby was frustrated at his son's poor performance in school and only later discovered he had dyslexia. So he helped Ennis work on his learning disability and significantly improved his performance. Ennis was so impacted by the experience, he enrolled in Columbia Teachers College and planned to set up a school for children with learning disabilities.
Hey, cool.
Unfortunately, though, on January 16th, 1997, Ennis was shot in the head in an attempted robbery. Cosby was on set when he heard the tragic news of his only son's passing. After being asked by a reporter regarding his feelings, he simply replied, "He was my hero." And
that's fucked. I didn't know about that. That's so sad.
His death truly hurt Cosby, who loved his son dearly.
Yeah,
on April
for real,
30th, 1992, The Cosby Show ended after 8 seasons. Throughout its course, big-name celebrities like Stevie Wonder made guest appearances, and future star Raven-Symoné launched her career there.
Oh, yeah, Raven-Symoné. I remember her. That's so Raven. That's cool. Martin was funny, too. Yeah, there were a lot of black shows that were so funny. A lot of black comedians, comedic shows that were really funny. It's so is it me or does it seem like they're going away? Because I remember so many, like the Wayans Brothers. These shows were all so funny. Wayans Brothers, Martin, the Cosby Show, Family Matters. There was a lot of black focused like shows, sitcoms, comedies. But they weren't about necessarily being black. Nowadays, it kind of feels like every time there's a black show, and maybe I'm just dumb. Jamie Foxx show. Maybe I'm just dumb, but now it's like every time there's a show that's about black people, it's about how like it's just them. It's like a social justice show instead of just like some normal dudes that sometimes might bring up social justice issues. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucking incredibly racist. I don't fucking know, dude. But it just feels weird now. It feels like they're going away. Some of them were on BET and people don't watch TV as much. But I don't know. I haven't seen like the Jeffersons. Yeah, sure. I don't know. Bernie Mac show. I used to love the Bernie Mac show. I don't know. Fuck. What happened? What the fuck happened? Maybe they're on Netflix and we're just not seeing it? I don't know. I don't know.
The cultural impact of the show was tremendous. It single-handedly revived the sitcom genre and inspired other shows with a predominantly black cast, such as The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh yeah, why the fuck did Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? I watch it all the time too. And Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Okay.
It wasn't until
the star shows that have a main black cast are all really good shows, storytelling wise, and they're all new. Okay, maybe I should check out Stars then. Maybe it's just me. Sister. I used to watch that too. I don't know, Effie and the Kids. Oh, so you said Wife and Kids. Okay. Sorry. Maybe I should just check out Stars. I should buy Stars then. Entourage, I hear, is good. My mom, I think, watches that. I think I said Family Matters. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's just not in like as on anymore because you have more choice of what you want to watch rather than like, I guess we have to watch this because TV used to be like, this is the time it is. You could either watch it or not.
2005, when Cosby's horrific behavior behind the camera began to surface. That year, a woman named Andrea Constant accused him of giving her pills, wine, and assaulting her. The district attorney at the time didn't pursue criminal charges due to lack of evidence. So Constant sued him in civil court and had several other women present similar stories. In Cosby's deposition, he admitted to giving women quaaludes for casual sex and settled the case for about $3.3 million.
Damn. That's the fuck part, is that like these are probably women who were interested in him and then he drugged them and sexually assaulted them. Like it doesn't matter even if they were interested in the first place. When you can't drug somebody and sexually assault them and be like, it was just what was a joke. If anything, it almost makes it more predatory that they were interested in him and he still felt the need to rape them. Like that's even more fucked. Like it's crazy. But
Cold Summer 91 super chatted $5. Yeah, it's weird. We had all these show with black people in the 80s, 90s, and even 2000s. Now there's all this talk about needing representation.
Maybe. I don't know if that's the focus to me. I think the representation is more like when you have like a traditionally white a show and they want to like throw a black person in there. I think it's the way that they do it. And again, I'm probably just not watching enough, but it's like there doesn't seem to be as many shows that are just about people that happen to be black, you know? But yeah, thanks for the $5. But by the way, thank you, Z King, for all the donations that you give. I haven't been acknowledging, but you're crazy. You don't have to donate that much or at all if you want me to read your messages. But thank you.
Remember,
and thank you to you too, Cold Summer.
Because it's important for later. In May 2004, America's Dad went on a controversial rant known as the Pound Cake speech at the NAACP award show. In it, he stated black women got knocked up by 5 or 6 different men but refused to parent their kids. Most significantly—
Wait, what? Wait, what did he say? Like the Pound Cake speech?
He stated 2004, America's Dad went on a controversial rant known as the Pound Cake speech at the NAACP award show. In it, he stated black women got knocked up by 5 or 6 different men but refused to parent their kids. Most significantly—
This is can I even watch this speech without a DMCA? We'll see. If this doesn't make it in, we'll know why.
Old days, you couldn't hook his school because behind every drawn shade was an eye. And before your mother got off the bus into the house, she knew exactly where you had gone, who had gone into the house. Parents don't know that today. I'm talking about these people who cry when their son is standing there in an orange suit. Where were you when he was 2? Where were you when he was 12? Where were you when he was 18? And how come you don't know he had a pistol? These are not political criminals. These are people going around stealing Coca-Cola. People getting shot in the back of the head over a piece of pound cake.
I mean, I could see why he's this frustrated. Doesn't his son get shot in the head? Like, he's probably referring to his son getting shot in the back of the head, I'm assuming. Because it seemed like okay.
And then we all run out and we're outraged. Oh, the cops shouldn't have shot him. What the hell was he doing with the pound cake in his hand? Brown versus the Board of Education is no longer the white person's problem. We've got to take the neighborhood back. We've got to go in there. It's right around the corner. It's standing on the corner. It can't speak English. It doesn't want to speak English. I can't even talk the way these people talk. Why you ain't where you is? Go wild west.
Oh, he's talking about, like, I guess, like, Ebonics. Is that what you'd say it is?
I don't know who these people are. And I blamed the kid until I heard the mother talk. And then I heard the father talk. This is all in the house. Everybody knows it's important to speak English, except these knuckleheads. You can't land a plane with why you ain't where. You can't be a doctor with that kind of crap coming out of your mouth. Why can't you hit the streets? Why can't you clean it out yourself? It's our time now, ladies and gentlemen. It is our time. And I have good news for you. It's not about money. It's about you doing something that ordinarily we do. Get in somebody else's business. It's time for you to not accept this language that these people are speaking, which will take them nowhere. What the hell good is Brown versus the Board of Education if nobody wants it? I mean, this is the future, and all of these people who've lined up and done whatever, they've got to be wondering, what the hell happened? Brown versus the Board of Education. These people who marched and were hit in the face with rocks and punched in the face to get an education, and we got these knuckleheads walking around, don't want to learn English. When you go to the church, look at the stained glass things of Jesus. Look at them. Is Jesus smiling? Not in one picture. So tell your friends, let's try to do something. Let's try and make Jesus smile. Let's start parenting. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, listen, after listen to that, I don't know. Like, listen, bro, it's obviously not for me necessarily to speak on too much, but I understand what he's saying. You know, obviously, first of all, obviously there's a bit greater systemic issue. Let's not pretend that doesn't exist. And Cosby isn't really talking to that. You know, he's speaking his experience as a black guy that's worked tremendously hard, even if he is a rapist. You know, this is a guy whose son was shot. And he's noticing some cultural issues that aren't inherent to black people. And he's saying, like, hey, there's some stuff we could do. That's what he's saying. Not everything he's saying is 100% correct with a full umbrella of understanding of, like, deep systemic issues. But, like, you know, like, if he didn't fucking rape those women, maybe he could have been a strong fucking community leader. I know. So, okay.
He appeared to blame the thief for getting shot in the head in a scenario in which they stole pound cake.
People getting shot in the back of the head over a piece of pound cake. And then we all run out and we're outraged. Oh, the cops shouldn't have shot him. What the hell was he doing with the pound cake in his hand?
I don't know what he was talking about there. I'm assuming that he was making like a joke or something.
Shocking.
I'm assuming he was making a joke. I don't think he actually was blaming that person, but maybe I'm wrong.
He was quite unapologetic for his statements, which led to a large part of the black community to stop supporting him. But they would be in for an even bigger surprise later on. Fast forward 10 years to 2014. During a show in Philadelphia, the stand-up comedian Hannibal Buress
I like Hannibal Buress.
Called out Cosby for harboring a smug black persona. He felt it was uncalled for considering he was a rapist and told people to Google it.
Has the fucking smuggest old black man public persona that I hate. This kid's on TV. Pull your pants up, black people. I was on TV in the 80s. I can talk down to you because I had a successful sitcom. Yeah, it was great women, Bill Cosby, so kind of brings it down a couple notches. I don't curse on stage. But yeah, you're a rapist, so I take you saying lots of motherfuckers on Bill Cosby himself if you weren't a rapist. For the most part,
well, they do say that people who curse the most are the most honest people. Since Bill Cosby didn't curse, you know.
Fucking public Teflon image. I've done this bit on stage, and people don't believe. People think I'm making it up. I'm like, Bill Cosby did a lot of rape allegations. No, you do. That shit is upsetting. If you didn't know about it, trust me. If you leave here, Google Bill Cosby rape.
And while they did, which reignited public interest in the case.
Damn, Burris fucking destroyed Bill Cosby. Hey, fucking base, bro.
So much so, the new district attorney Kevin Steele reevaluated the charges against Cosby.
Wow.
It was ironic that a stand-up comedian sparked the downfall of perhaps one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time.
I mean, bro, comedy is very powerful. You see, like, people always look like George Carlin, and I'd say Dave Chappelle, Jon Stewart, people who have, like, an incredible impact on our social conversations, all comedians. Apparently Hannibal Buress. It's real, bro. Like, the humor really gets through to people, you know? You know?
In a strange attempt to combat the toilet water tsunami of bad press that followed, Cosby tweeted, "Go ahead, meme me." This backfired horribly, though, as Twitter users went buck wild using the hashtag Cosby meme.
Oh, yeah, you kind of fucked up on that one, but okay.
I have to admit, this one was pretty funny, though.
Stare directly at the sweater. Are you getting very sleepy? Okay.
I'm genuinely not sure what his PR team was trying to accomplish. They truly made everything worse. By the end of November 2014,
I think Cosby just didn't give a fuck. So.
A multitude of women had come forward accusing Cosby of assaulting them, including supermodel Janice Dickinson.
Damn.
She claimed he gave her wine and a pill that was for menstrual cramps. Dickinson then...
What the fuck? So apparently he was lying to the girls about what the pill was?
Woke up the next morning with male sex juice between her legs. In December 2014, Judy Hutt accused America's Dad of taking her to the Playboy Mansion and forcibly touching her when she was just 15. In May 2015,
what the fuck?
Dickinson then woke up the next morning with male sex juice between her legs. In December 2014, Judy Hutt accused America's Dad of taking her to the Playboy Mansion and forcibly touching her when she was just 15. In May 2015, actress Lily Bernard met Cosby for a drink in his hotel room for a so-called mentoring session. She trusted him and looked up to him like a role model. However, she was later drugged and raped. Sadly, being drugged was a common theme among his accusers.
Yeah.
Many women revealed he gave them a pill that was either herbal medicine for headaches or to help them relax. As a result of the allegations against Cosby, Netflix shelved the 77-year-old stand-up special Bill Cosby 77. Reruns of The Cosby Show were also pulled from TV. Finally, on December 20th, 2015, Bill Cosby was arrested and charged with sexually assaulting Andrea Constant but maintained his innocence. This is the same woman he settled out of court with for sexually abusing in 2005. And the same woman who the district attorney didn't file a criminal case on behalf of due to lack of evidence. The timing was critical as the charges were filed right before the 12-year statute of limitations expired. Cosby almost got away. 60 women in total ended up coming forward against the comedian. In June 2017, the case against Cosby was
Bill Cosby, yeah, very good.
declared a mistrial. By then, he had gone completely blind due to a medical condition called keratoconus. Cosby would also later lose his daughter Ensa at the age of 44 from renal disease.
Jesus Christ. All Cosby kids are fucking dropping like flies. That's terrible. I mean, he's a scumbag, but I feel bad for the kids.
During the retrial in 2018, 5 more accusers were allowed to present their testimony. Cosby, of course, emphasized he had done nothing wrong. His legal team heavily argued he was merely a victim of the Me Too movement.
Excellent defense. Some people might be. What's going on, Grimsy? How you doing, brother?
However, he was ultimately convicted on 3 counts and sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. Cosby was sent to
A light fucking sentence, bro.
SCI Phoenix, a maximum security prison in Arizona. Cosby immediately appealed this decision for 2 reasons. 1, the prosecutor back in 2005 previously offered him a no prosecution agreement in order to get him to provide 4 depositions to help Constant win her civil suit, which she...
Can I just say one thing, though, bro? There are some very limited people that are like, oh, Bill Cosby just went to jail because he's black. It's like, bro, get the fuck out of here, dude. Come on. But it's ironic that a black comedian called him out first. You know, he just wanted to joke because he's black. Meanwhile, Hannibal Buress is the one who like re-sparked all this shit.
Did. And well, Cosby happily agreed since he was told he wouldn't be charged criminally. But he was,
Damn.
something he felt never should have happened. The tricky thing was the offer wasn't in official writing, but was recorded in a press release. The second reason for the appeal was that the judge allowed Cosby's civil depositions from 2005 in which he revealed he gave women quaaludes for casual sex to be played. This essentially had Cosby incriminate himself, which violated his Fifth Amendment rights.
Oh, well. I mean, I get we have to whole uphold rights and shit, but what the fuck?
Cosby's appeal was denied in 2019, so his legal team took the case to the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. Interestingly, the comedian was eligible for parole around that time, but only if he registered as a sex offender. Cosby refused to do this and revealed he would rather serve his full sentence than admit guilt. I have 8 years and 9 months left. When I come up for parole, they're not going to hear me say that I have remorse.
Let me finish this video, brother, and then if you could say whatever you want to say. Just give me a little bit.
In June 2021, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania ruled that his due process rights were violated. They felt that no prosecution agreement should have been honored and that the depositions in exchange for that agreement were unfairly used against him. As a result, he was a free man. In May 2022, the U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear a bid to overturn the overturned conviction. Currently, Bill Cosby is no longer seen as America's dad, but rather as America's rapist. The wholesome image he painstakingly curated over decades is now tainted.
I guess so. 85. Damn. People also searched for R. Kelly. Okay. O.J. Simpson. I don't know who this person is, but okay. Who's that? Oh, she was from the show, the Cosby Show. But this guy's a rapist. Not him. This is Kenan Thompson. I hope he's not. Oof. I meant R. Kelly. And then this guy's. I'm pretty sure that he murdered somebody. I'm pretty sure this guy's a murderer.
He was once a pillar of the African-American community and inspired countless people. He even funded scholarships and donated to institutions of higher learning to help kids in need further their education. While he did get released from prison due to intricate legalities, that still doesn't mean he's innocent. I mean, 60 women accused him of sexual misconduct. Even if you half that number, it's still insane. It's truly repulsive he was able to do what he did for
It's very true, Ajay. Thank you.
So many years. Personally, I can't watch his show or comedy routines anymore without wanting to vomit. However, Dave Chappelle felt it was difficult to condemn Cosby so easily. He believed he saved more than he raped.
He probably did. Well, he probably did, but the reality, like, bro, listen, I'm listening to what he says, but he probably did. The problem is, man, is that that's fucked. You know, that's fucked. That's just beyond fucked. And it has to be called out, and you deserve to have your reputation destroyed. You know what I mean? I don't think it's unreasonable for you to be like, I don't think it's unreasonable to look at Cosby and still look at, if you watched Cosby growing up and you were like, this guy had a profound positive impact on me, that's okay for you to still maintain. But we have to acknowledge that this guy's fucking raped women. He raped people. It doesn't matter if they're women. And like, you should he needs, like, you can't highlight that person anymore. They destroyed their own fucking shit, you know?
Let's not forget, I've never met Bill Cosby, so I'm not defending him. But let's just remember that he has a valuable legacy that I can't just throw away.
Sure.
I remember that he's the first black man to ever win an Emmy in television. I also remember that he's the first guy to make a cartoon with black characters where their lips and noses were drawn proportionally. I remember that he had a television show that got numbers equivalent to the Super Bowl every Thursday night. And I remember that he partnered up with a clinical psychologist to make sure that there was not one negative image of African Americans on his show. I'm telling you, this is no small thing. I've had a television show.
Yeah, man. And the whole thing where he got like a, what was it called? He like a stunt double for his original show, this I Spy or whatever the fuck it was. That was black, which was something that like normally, from what they said, only a white person would dress as blackface. This was who he was supposed to do it with. But he was like, no, I want like an actual a black stunt actor, which makes the most sense. You know?
Show. I wouldn't have done that shit. Gave tens of millions of dollars to African American institutions of higher learning and is directly responsible for thousands of black kids going to college. Not just the ones he raped.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Here comes the kicker. You ready? Here's the fact that I heard but haven't confirmed. I heard that when Martin Luther King stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and said he had a dream, he was speaking into a PA system that Bill Cosby paid for. Do you understand what I'm saying?
What?
The point is this.
Wait, is he trolling right now? Or is that like real? He's 85. I guess it could be real. Is that real? Like Bill Cosby might have like donated to it. I could see that. Like he wanted them to have like a professional appearance. That might actually be real. Or am I just dumb? I might be dumb.
He rapes, but he saves. And he saves more than he rapes, but he probably does rape.
Regardless of your
right off. Wow. That was
opinion, though, I think we can all agree Cosby's actions were deplorable. I also want to point out he's still facing legal troubles to this very day. The now 84-year-old was sued by 5 women in December 2022 thanks to a new New York law that allows civil action for sexual abuse regardless of when it occurred. While the law doesn't allow for criminal charges, it's still a step closer to justice. I sincerely hope Bill Cosby faces the full consequences for his actions. After all, considering he preached negative behavior was unacceptable throughout his entire career, why should he be any exception?
All right. Yeah, so that was a good video by Jay. The jokes were funnier this time. Interesting stuff.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.